Hello, I am the top martial artist in America, and I'm being persecuted for my political views. By the top martial artist, I mean sparring, self-defense, fighting skills, and spiritual development, the things that matter most. Not entertainment, sports, or entertainment, or or for even physical health or form. Because what good is form if you cannot apply it in a warfare situation, a situation of war, in a battle, in a situation where you have to defend yourself, when that's the purpose of the art in the first place, the war application. So, when we are faced with this reprehensible system where on one side we have these kind of hippie, eccentric, do-gooder, nonconformists. On the other side, we have people that sell out. They're conformists. They come off as normal. The people who speak out against psychiatry come off as weird, different, abnormal, socially unacceptable, perhaps. So it begs the question, what does a righteous man do in this situation? When those people who are right haven't assimilated to the point where society takes them seriously. There could be 10,000 people who are do-gooders and hippies and things of that nature, and they come together and they make a big scene and a big fuss. It is quite easy to play them out. Society always plays them out. Since when have they ever defeated the New World Order? Never. Especially not over major issues such as the most profitable business. So, does a righteous man wait for God when the people who pray to God expect God to come back on Judgment Day and make things right? Today, some female quoted Ephesians to me. The battle is not of the flesh, it's against principalities and so on and so forth. I disagree. I disagree not in the sense of what the real battle is. I disagree about the form that the battle takes place. Because one could make the argument that, well, since the battle is not of the flesh and your soul is in the flesh, the battle is not to be fought while you're here on earth. It's really how you interpret it. You see, I interpret it the correct way. The battle isn't to kill you and your flesh. The battle is to kill the idea, the spirit of the philosophy of materialism / Satanism. So, on one side we have the materialists, the conformists, the Satanists, the atheists, and all people who fall in this category, the spiritual bottom feeders as well. On the other side, we have truly religious people, people who have chose morality first and foremost. Now, this battle will never end because you have large groups on both sides. There's a lot of people that sell out. A lot of people are materialistic, even if they claim to be religious. Then you have a lot of people who speak out against psychiatry, who aren't heard because they don't really have control over the media. And on social media, they really don't get their message out, except for the few controlled opposition movements. That's a video for another day. And then we have a bunch of undecided people that the two groups are vying for. They're competing for. They're trying to sway them to one side or the other. Now, I'll make the argument that even if all the people who are undecided sided with the nonconformists, those who speak out against the psychiatry and big pharma, which in a way is society, because this is what society has become, you know, this crony capitalism, this capitalist oppression. And this oppression can exist in communism and other systems as well. But what we see in the West is a capitalist version of it. And so, even if they were all to side with this, with the right side, they would lose, because the money and the power And the monopoly on the use of force is with the conformists, especially since they convince you people who are spiritual. Because what we have in the common forms of Christianity is a way to take all the people who mean well and tell them not to fight back physically, not to go to war, not to make a great effort to change things. Okay? Religion was never meant to control all aspects and all people in society. Religion as a government institution, as a government friendly philosophy. It was just meant to control those people who would rebel otherwise. Those people who feel moral outrage and righteous indignation. Those people who are not okay with the way things work. Okay? So you have a bunch of people who, for the most part, are okay with it. And what I mean by okay is that they're not thrilled about it, but they're okay enough to sell out and partake in it. They cannot honestly say that they have a huge problem with it if they're making money doing it and they're contributing to it. You know, they're okay with it. They're not the loudest voice pushing for it, unless they're paid to do it. You know, but they're okay with it for the most part. Then there's people who like it, you know, the people on top. And then there's a bunch of people who aren't okay with it because they're speaking out against it. So not only, you know, they don't like it, but they're not okay with it because they're not going to roll with it. They're going to speak out against it. Every chance they get, they're going to join groups on Facebook and they're going to make videos on YouTube. They're going to attend rallies and meetings and get politically active and so on and so forth. You know, one way to measure a man is what they are okay with. One way to measure a government is how much they've sold out to Big Pharma and psychiatry. And how much they allow for mental health to oppress people, which is the most dishonorable way, perhaps, because it takes the idea of we're helping you. They're using medicine, a hospital. Imagine if you all went to hospitals and you went there thinking that you're gonna, you know, get diagnosed for, you know, a heart condition or something, and they throw you in jail instead. That's pretty much what psychiatry is. You're going to them for help, and they're oppressing you and controlling you, and they're overzealous with keeping an eye on you and drugging you. You know, if I had taken all the medication they wanted me to take in the past 20 years, I might be in a coma, I might be dead already. I certainly would have serious cognitive impairment, serious neurological damage. As it is, I have certain problems with my speech patterns. I have certain mental problems of the mind, and they come from these psychiatric drugs. And these people have plausible deniability. On record, they say a lot of their patients don't know how to deal with their quote-unquote mental illness, so they self-medicate, which therefore creates the opportunity to say any brain damage that they have,